is this critical importance of listening. We've looked at the research and it's identified what others say about poor listeners. If you've done a 360 review before and you find that your peers feel that you only listen to certain people, that you've already made your mind up before the conversation starts, that you come across as not interested, that you're really hard to talk to, any of these things, these are real indicators that you've got a significant blind spot when it comes to listening. And as hard as it is to get that feedback, it's also a great opportunity to grow as a communicator. And I want you to just consider today the findings from this article from Zinger and Folkman. It's really powerful research, over 3,500 participants, and it brings to light what we call being an active listener. And it identifies 4 things that we have to do. 1, when your direct reports come in, you have to get past this idea of just being silent. Now, if you're brought up in a Catholic school, like Marty was, you've been taught to sit there and zip your lips when someone is talking. And I'd say that there's certainly a time for that still today. But when you're talking about the notion of actively listening, you have to be asking questions. You have to create an environment which dialogue can occur. You have to challenge the other person's assumptions. 2, you have to be intentional with these interactions to build up whoever you're talking to create and foster a positive environment, a safe environment to support them. When they bring ideas to you, be supportive. Don't say you have an open door policy, and then when someone walks in, they regret having ever stepped foot in your office. Number 3, you got to see it as this cooperative conversation. Many of us today are guilty of having a conversation. Can you see my phone? While our head is down staring at this damn device. To be a good listener, you have to offer feedback. You have to be engaged. You have to be seen in a supportive role, that you're there to help. Get off of the idea that there's a winner and a loser in every conversation, that somehow this is a competition. It has to be two-way communication. And then finally, I think in this two-way dialogue, that it's critically important that we're offering suggestions. And I know the challenges that surround this. As leaders within our organizations, we have 1,000 things going on. We got emails, we have deadlines, the phone is ringing, the pressure is mounting, and in walks one of your direct reports. It's hard to just stop everything and give that person your undivided attention. But to be a great communicator, to build trust with that person, you have to engage in the conversation. You have to offer solutions to their problems. You have to make real time for them and their concerns. And I love the way that the authors summarize the imagery of this. You know, pictures tell a great story. And, you know, they would say in the old days, we thought of listening as being a sponge. I don't interrupt. I just take it in, soak in everything that you give me. But in our VUCA world, this volatile, uncertain, complex, and ambiguous construction industry is simply not good enough. You got to become a trampoline, somebody who bounces ideas back and forth. You know, an example could be you're speaking to John, who's a PM, and you say, so let me better understand it, John. You think that offsite prefab is an advantage rather than doing it on-site. That's interesting. Why do you think that? You have to be willing to challenge your own assumptions and bounce these ideas back and forth. Now, in all honesty, it's much harder being a trampoline than a sponge. It takes a lot more work on your part in that leadership moment to say, this is the first time in a month that I've had a one-on-one conversation with John. I have to stop what I'm doing. I have to respect the conversation. I have to put my phone on silent. I have to give him my undivided attention and create a two-way dialogue that's positive and impactful. That is hard to do. I get it. But that's what the research tells us has to be done. If you want to become a more effective communicator, you have to start with your ears, with your listening. And I'm going to challenge you, just take a look at this slide. Take a picture of this with your phone. Do a little self-audit on this, a little me time. What level of listener are you? You know, this is a really interesting exercise if you're honest with yourself. If you view yourself as a level 2 listener, can you work throughout this month to move to level 5, to level 6 even? If you do, I have no doubt that your communication will skyrocket. Listening plays such a key role in your growth as an effective communicator.